Hey everyone, I'm Norn Queen Alexis and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the new detachments for Slaanesh. There are some lesser gods that also got some detachments, but we're not interested in those. You know, you got the Brute, the Ugly One, and the Nerd. We don't care about them. We care about the Prince of Excess, the Seneschal of Pain, I think is one of her titles. She Who Thirsts. We're here for Slaanesh. Slaanesh is my favorite of the Chaos gods. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite things in all of Warhammer 40k. And I know, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. You would think that I would love my buggies over here. There they are. Doing this in mirrored is very difficult. But Tyranids are cool, and I love the intergalactic space bugs. I thought by now they would have actually gotten something that would make them, you know, more interesting, but they just keep getting more bugs, and their lore has not really changed. So I kind of drifted a bit away from them. They're just kind of just a bad guy, where Slaanesh is very much a really cool bad guy, because bad girl, bad hoe, you know, all the gendered pronouns. Bitches, bros, and hoes, you know, Slaanesh. But Slaanesh is the most devious one of all of them. Will trick you into like doing honorable things until you start going crazy, until you just keep going at it, until you try to reach the crescendo of all of it, and then eventually lose yourself to the sensations, and that's Slaanesh. I absolutely love Slaanesh. I love that it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Let's go. I love that it was inspired by Hellraiser, and all of its demons are akin to Hellraiser type demons. Absolutely love it. And if you can't tell, I really have a thing for Slaanesh. I mean, I'm getting this as a full sleeve soon, so I absolutely love it. So when they showed a new detachment, I was all over that. And this right here, that right there, don't be concerned. I did not stab myself. Trust me, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. Promise. No. That was from me painting something red, and I used my hand as a dry brush palette. Because why use anything else when I have hands? Right? Right, Kovu? Look at him. Look at him. There he is. All right, let's get into this. Sorry, I wasted like 2.5 minutes doing this. Intro over. Legion of Excess. Let's dive in. We have the new detachment ability, which is Fall Back and Charge. This is really, really good. Okay, I love anything that just lets me leave combat, look at my opponent, shoot them with my non-existent guns, because I'm playing Slaanesh and I'm playing demons, and we just don't have guns to begin with. We don't need guns. We just need to punch you in the face and get there. We need to get there and punch you in the face as hard as we can. That's what Slaanesh loves doing. But the ability to fall back, decide what we want to do, like charge in other units, and then take our keeper and charge it somewhere else where it's more needed. Like if we already wounded something and we need another unit to come in and wrap up that, just so we can get more movement on the battlefield, or to take an objective, we can fall back our greater demon so that we don't wipe them, and so that we can get our other unit in there, or we can just fall back and go to a position where we're more needed, or a better target has presented itself, and now we can just go, okay, later nerds, I had fun playing with you. It was great. Toodles. And then you can go and kill something that needs killing. You know, like a character exposed. All right. So I think this ability is good. I think this ability is good. This ability, not disability. This ability can also be cool. But this ability, we're talking, yeah. Anyway, Seductive Gambit. The only thing I could think of with Seductive Gambit is like one of those like 1930s like flasher people. Like, it might work. You never know. Don't do that. If you do that, that's creepy. But Seductive Gambit is like a Bard's Tale, which is a really good game. I should play Bard's Tale. But anyway, I love the name of it because it's so Slaanesh. But what this ability does is it lets you give up fights first when you charge, okay? So you charged in. You get fights first. You go, no, I think you can punch me. Go for it. Do your best. I hope the best for you. And then when they fail horribly because they've overconfident. They're overconfident, and their rerolls to hit and rerolls to wound are failing them because you're giving them -1 to hit and -1 to wound, and then you're just sitting there with your full keeper, just sitting there staring at those poor, pathetic little Space Marines. You then just get to reroll to hit and wound and tear the whole squad apart. Conveniently, Slaanesh has 10 attacks, or Slaanesh Greater Demons have 10 attacks, which is perfect for wiping out any Space Marine unit and leaving their character wonderfully exposed for the next hit. You know, just, it's so lovely. You just get a big block of heavy intercessors, terminators, aggressors. You can kill the whole unit. It's fun for the whole family. I really like this ability. The ability, it messes with your opponent because now they have to consider whether or not they have to pay to interrupt. Because there's a chance that if they pay to interrupt, you just give up fights first. Like, because you get to choose. Well, okay, if they pay to interrupt, you don't actually get the choice. I want to make that very clear. But the first combat, you could let them go first, choose the next one, then they have to pay to go first. So it can be really, really, it could really mess with your opponent. This is also really good if you're like hitting a Rhino or a Land Raider or something that's not going to hit you hard back, and you need your Keeper of Secrets to actually kill it. So you run into something that's toughness 11 and you just need to hit it just to get rid of it. This is really good to just let it get its 3 to 6 attacks. It hits you, oh no, it hits you on 4s, maybe 5s, and then it goes at -1 to hit you, and then you get all your rerolls to hit and wound. Really good ability for clearing out chaff and some tougher units. So let's get into the enhancements. The enhancements are really cool. False Majesty. This one I absolutely love, and I think this one needs to be played in almost every army. This is what this army is probably going to be played around. The +1 to wound in melee, excluding monsters. Very important, this does not work on Shalaxi Helbane. This does not work on your Demon Princes. This does not work on Be'lakor, if Be'lakor actually gets the Legion keyword. I don't know if he does. That's the weird bit. I don't think he does, but we'll have to see if we ever get a Codex if he does, but I don't think he does. Okay? So this will work on... Oh my god, this works on a Soul Grinder. Because the Soul Grinder can get Legion Daemonica Slaanesh, because it takes the Slaanesh keyword. Or does it get Legion Daemonica and then Slaanesh? I have to look that up. Don't quote me on that, okay? I may be wrong. Probably wrong. But this will work on your Fiends. This is where you really want this. You want this with your Fiends. This will work with your Seekers of Slaanesh, your Hell Flayers, thank you, Brain, your Exalted Seeker Chariot, and speaking of, that's where I'm going to be putting this upgrade. I'm going to be putting this upgrade on a Trance Weaver on an Exalted Seeker Chariot. I think I got the name right. Let me just double check. Tormentbringer on an Exalted Seeker Chariot. The base is huge. Hi, Kovu. The base is huge, which allows it to extend further than its initial, like if you put this on a small character, this will extend it a lot more than even a Keeper of Secrets, because the oval base is way bigger than a Keeper of Secrets 100 base. So this is really good on an Exalted Seeker Chariot because it does affect the Seeker Chariot as well, and this will allow it to keep up with the greater demons as they summon in other demons. Keep in mind, you can still summon in your demons, they just can't be the 6-inch away demons, which is really, really good, and you also don't get uppy downy. So there are some negatives to this versus the original Detachment, which I think is a bit better. Okay, sorry, I have to keep my throat wet. You know, Slaanesh demands and all. So, the next one is add 1 to hit rolls. I don't think this one is as important as add 1 to wound rolls. If you ever have the choice between re-rolling to hit or wound, you always take the wound. You always need to try to get those wounds. Wounds are far more important than hitting. In my opinion, I know a lot of people love sustained hits, but yeah. Oh, also the other reason that I put it on the Tormentbringer is because she hands out sustained hits. So you can even more effectively use this ability. So it's really good. But the reroll, no, the add 1 to hit is not as good. Most of your stuff is going to be hitting on 3s, if not 4s. And I don't think adding 1 to hit is worth the 30 points. I could be wrong. And if you think the adding 1 to hit is better, go for it. I'm not going to say it's bad. 30 points, I think it's a bit too much, but that's just me. Avatar of Perfection. This one is very situational, but I love it, okay? This is one that I'm actually taking. I'm actually taking 55 points worth of upgrades, of enhancements. So the Avatar of Perfection, I put this on a Keeper of Secrets. And now imagine that this square that I am sitting in, this box that is my entire existence here in Iceland, is my deployment zone. I have a Keeper, okay, this is going to be weird. Let's just say we're doing Hammer and Anvil, okay? I put my main force down here and 1 Keeper way up here. This is where I want that upgrade, okay? Because this Keeper is going to go over to the other side and always be away from my army, okay? And because of that, it is going to get the reroll charge rolls, and it's going to ignore all modifiers. It's going to get the reroll advance rolls if I ever decide to use the advance. But if I'm out of position, I could get that 4, or I can get, it's 3.7 on a dice, but I can get a 4 or a 5 to get even closer. I can get that 19-inch movement. So this is really good for just that demon that needs to run to an objective. Like, especially towards later on in the game, turn 3, turn 4, when your rest of your army is pretty much dead at that point, and you're running for objectives, this is really good. I like this. Soul Gluttony is just the sword. It heals D3 wounds if you killed a single model. It's pretty good. Yeah. At the end of the fight phase, if one or more enemy models were destroyed this phase as a result of one or more of the bearer's attacks, you regain D3 wounds. This is really good for keeping Keepers of Secrets alive, and you're going to find out more right after we get to these stratagems. Because it's a way to battle shock yourself. And if you pass, you regain wounds, which means you can regain 2d3 wounds. So you're regaining, on average, 3 wounds for a Keeper of Secret that's very hard to kill. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're actually not that hard to kill. Well, you're wrong, or you're playing them wrong. So let's dive into these stratagems, okay? Okay. So the Thieves of Pain. This is an interesting stratagem. I personally think this is good because I know how to hand out my pain. I am really good at delivering pain to others, and I know who needs it. It's actually that unit hidden behind a wall that you can't shoot. That unit that can regain D3 lost models every turn. Yes, let's wound that unit. So what I want to do is, in my army, I want to have I'm going to get her name right because I always get her name wrong. I always get her name wrong. I want an Infernal Enrapturess. Now, the Infernal Enrapturess is going to be attached to a Daemonette unit. The Infernal Enrapturess brings back D3 Daemonettes, which is really good because she could extend them outside of the original position and get you a further charge. Or, like I'm going to use her, she's going to be sitting on an objective with 1 Daemonette just close enough that I can start putting wounds on that unit. Now, that unit will then take a battle shock test, which will bring back more models if they pass. Considering that the Infernal Enrapturess has a 6+ because of Shadow of the Warp, or Shadow of Chaos, that means that she's bringing back D3 plus D3 models, which is conveniently the amount of wounds that the Keeper of Secrets can regain. So I can use this stratagem, put wounds on my Daemonettes behind a wall that'll never get shot, as long as I play and position them correctly. Then I can recover them while recovering wounds on the Keeper of Secrets that just got shot. For added protection, we could bring 2 different models, or technically 4. 1 unit of, nope, shouldn't do that. That's naughty. 1 unit of Nurglings to give them -1 to wound, I believe. No, it's subtract 1 from the hit roll. So if I need the Nurglings to subtract 1, so if Shalaxi wants to be surrounded by Nurglings, I know this is a Slaanesh detachment and we're taking Booger Boys, but you know, it's fine. sometimes, you know, it's cool to bring your friends to work. Don't actually bring your friends to work. But if you need to bring, like, that disease-ridden pile of garbage that is following you around, you know, it's something. What I'm saying is use their ability to, you know, make it so that Shalaxi doesn't die. Tailor them to look like Daemonettes. Like, have a bunch of Daemonettes just relaxing on, like, sunbathing chairs. Somebody get on this. Somebody make some really, really, really good, like, new slave models that I can use as Nurglings. And I will 3D print them, and I will be super happy, because that'll be super cool. I know that's terrible, blah, 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 you know, but it's Slaanesh, that's what they do. So yeah, that's how I'd run my Nurglings. But I really, really like this ability. I love this stratagem. I think this is actually a sleeper stratagem that's going to piss off your opponent because it's any phase. Oh, excluding monster. Wait a second, did I do this wrong? Oh my god, I'm dumb. Okay. So everything that I just said about Shalaxi, change Shalaxi to Tormentbringer on Seeker Chariot. I did not get that entirely wrong and didn't read the quotation parentheses that said excluding monsters. I saw something that I liked and immediately assumed. That's what Slaanesh wanted. Anyway, jokes aside, I messed up. I apologize. Change Shalaxi and Keepers of Secrets to... No, wait. What? From your army, excluding demons. Okay, yeah, excluding monsters. Okay. Yeah, I did read it wrong. My apologies. I still think this is worth it to keep your chariot alive. Yeah, I still think this is worth it. I still think it's worth building around. Arch antagonist. Fight phase. Ooh, fight phases are always fun. This one, what do you do? 1 Legion Daemonica Slaanesh monster unit, or up to 2 Legion Daemonica Slaanesh units, excluding monsters. Look, we're reading. We can do this. This is how reading is done, and that's how learning is done. But then if you learn too much, you become Tzeentch instead of Slaanesh. So, you know, indulge yourself in reading and read, you know, those books that a lot of women my age really love. Keep reading those. Anyway, that have not been selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in one of those units makes an attack, add 1 to the wound roll. Now, I don't believe this stacks with the +1 to wound roll from the other, like... the enhancement. I'm not sure, but if it does, that's cool. If it doesn't, this allows your monsters to get +1 to wound. It's essentially Lance, but it's 2 CP. It's really expensive Lance. I'm whatever about it. I don't think it's that good, honestly. It's cool, but I don't really think it's needed. You're just going to let your opponent fight first and then just re-roll to hit and wound. And if you're using Shalaxi Helbane, you're already re-rolling everything anyway, but this is really good for just Keepers of Secrets. Okay? This ability. This one right here. I absolutely love the idea of this. Okay? This one is my favorite. Sensory exertation, I think. Excruciation. I think it's excruciation. Yeah, whatever. Anyway. 1 Legion Daemonica Slaanesh monster unit from your army that is on the battlefield. Ooh, I have plenty of those. I love my big monsters. I keep one in a drawer. Anyway, each unit... I do. My Slaanesh models are in those drawers. That's what I'm talking about. What's wrong with you? Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway, each unit on the battlefield that is within your army Shadow of Chaos must take a battle shock test subtracting 1 from its test if they are below half strength. So, 1 Legion Daemonica Slaanesh monster unit from your army. Each unit on the battlefield that is within your army's Shadow of Chaos must take... Now, this doesn't say from that monster. which is interesting. This means that a Demon Prince could technically do this, but if you're bringing a Demon Prince, you might as well just bring a Keeper of Secrets. They're just better. I will stand by that. Demon Princes are technically alive turn demons. Keepers of Secrets are just demons and are way cooler because they're not part mortal. Being part mortal is lame. I have already ascended beyond that. Anyway, this one is interesting because it targets one of your Slaanesh demon monster units from your army that's on the battlefield to do the effect, but then the effect is from your Shadow of Chaos, which is around your greater demons, and in your army's Shadow of Chaos, which spreads from your objectives. So if you control more objectives in the middle, or you control all of the objectives, it hits the entire field. It's basically the Tyrannid thing. But the cool thing is, this affects your own demons. This is a stratagem that I wanted so badly. This is a way of healing all of your Keepers of Secrets, or battle shocking them. And then that sucks. But it's a way of healing all of your greater demons, and it's a way of healing those Daemonettes back up just a bit on an extra turn. So you could potentially use this in your command phase before you do a battle shock test, then do a battle shock test, then recover. Or you can, no, it's the other way around. Sorry, my bad. But you do your battle shock test, you heal. You then battle shock yourself again, heal, and then you kill a model with a Keeper of Secrets and heal. It's amazing. I love this. This is great. All of this is good, and I am very happy that this exists. Also this is my cat Kofu. He is sleeping, and I am probably disturbing him. Absolutely love this. And then we have Phantasmal Longing. Yeah. Your movement phase or your charge phase. One Legion Demonica unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a move, it can move through terrain features. This you are going to be playing on Shalaxi turn 1 immediately. Or, and hear me out, you use this on Be'lakor. Nope, you can't. I lied. Ooh, you know what you could do? No, you can't Rapid Ingress. You can Rapid Ingress, but that'd be turn 2. Okay, if you do go first, you want to hide all your demons. That's fine, unless your opponent scouts up, and then you can kill them. But if you're going first, you just park your demons where they want to be, you scout your other demons where they want to be, and you hunker down. You wait until your opponent has to move up to do their objectives. Then you use Phantasmal Longing after keeping a Keeper of Secrets in reserve from the start of the game, or you keep Shalaxi Helbane in reserve. Then you move one of your Keepers of Secrets through the wall. She Pokeballs out Shalaxi Helbane 9 inches away, okay, within her Sphere of Chaos, okay? Then Shalaxi and her both try to make the charge of 9 inches, turn 1. This will let Shalaxi gets the reroll, so making a 9-inch rerollable charge is pretty okay. You get like a 70% chance to do it, but then you have the Keeper of Secrets on top of that to also try to make that charge. So it's pretty good. I really like this. I like this ability. I think this is cool. 14-inch movement from your deployment zone, depending on the deployment map you get. Sometimes you're only 18 inches away. Sometimes you're 24 inches away. If you're 18 inches away, this is absolutely terrifying for your opponent. They will have to plan to push their entire army back or to set up blockade units, which Helbane and a Keeper of Secrets can just shoot through, but it will slow them down, and that's what your opponent wants. But there is a chance that you just blow through it and just get to that thing anyway, and then they have a giant Keeper of Secrets in their face turn 1, which is terrifying, and I absolutely love it, and I think it's great. So that is something that I really want to do. I love this ability. I think all of these stratagems are actually really good so far. And next one we have Cavalcade of Blades. God, my accent is butchering English, and it hates everything. Your charge phase, just after a Legion Demonica unit from your army ends its charge move. It is grenades. It's grenades. It is a type of grenades. This is really good for just getting extra mortal wounds. This is also really good for just pushing through blocked units. For instance, if you have 5 cultists in your way, okay, and your big keeper comes in, boom, you can use this ability and say you get those 6 mortal wounds. You kill all of them. There's the target unit behind you that you want to hit. You then get to pile in and then fight that unit, because that is the way that combat works in this edition, and it is very fun. And if you do that, you actually get around fights first. It is hilarious. Situationally, I think this is really good, but dealing 6 mortal wounds is just okay. You're going to deal on average about 3. Overwhelming excess. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit is selected as target. 1 Legion Daemonic Slaanesh unit from your army that was selected as a target for 1 or more of the attacks. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. If they're battle shocked, they cannot target the demon. This is insane. 1. You want to use this on Shalaxi Helbane. It can be used on her, right? It doesn't say excluding monsters. It does not say excluding monsters. This ability is really, really, really cool. I absolutely love this because the attacking unit must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. If the test is passed, then until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack. Yeah, it just gives them -1 to wound. This is way better than the reroll ones for invo saves that I swear is just bad. This is way better. -1 to hit is crazy good. And if the test is failed, them being 1, battle shocked, which deals D3 mortal wounds if they're next to a Keeper of Secrets, or they're in your Shadow of Chaos. But on top of that, not being able to select the target. A lot of armies only have 1 to 2 big things to take care of super units. They will have like 1 or 2 Vindicators, 1 or 2 Gladiator Lancers, 1 or 2 knights that can shoot you, 1 to 2 long-range anti-tank gun. For Tyranids, it's 2 Tyrannofexes, and you can just simply nullify one of them. It's amazing. Just absolutely crazy that you could just nullify one of them and they take damage if they're within your Shadow of Chaos. Crazy good. So I think that this army is going to take a lot more brain power to use because it's a lot more complex than your standard demon list. My standard demon list was pretty simple. 1 Keeper of Secrets, 1 Shalaxi Helbane, Be'lakor, and insert another demon here, usually Fate Weaver, and then 2 units of 6 Blood Crushers, and then a couple of units of Seekers to just run around for objectives. The whole idea was Be'lakor throws out one of the demons 6 inches away. The Blood Crushers make it into combat, deal 1 billion mortal wounds, and then charge into the target and kill it. Overall, it's been pretty successful, and I absolutely love that list. I think it's great. But this list I came up with is pretty cool. Okay? Do I think this list is better? It's tough. Overall, I think that this list is going to struggle against Space Marines right now. Space Marines, especially Ultramarines, are going to be the new kids on the block. They're so much stronger than they were before. On top of that, you have the Grey Knights. The Grey Knights are absolutely insane right now. Custodians are also a tough matchup for demons. I know that's weird, considering we can deal a bunch of mortal wounds, but Custodians feel no pains against it, and it's very annoying. But there are some rather tough fights for us. But if you take a Space Marine player by surprise, force them to fight the way you want to fight, then you can overwhelm them very quickly and win. It really depends. You need to have full spatial awareness of every goddamn thing on the board simultaneously and know where everything is going to be. Okay? I know, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to struggle, and I don't particularly think this is as good as the typical demon list. I think that one's just a bit better, but this one, weirdly enough, has more damage output and survivability. Which is weird to me. Now, keep in mind, you can use other demons in here. Like, you can still use Blood Crushers. So if you want a unit of 6 Blood Crushers to try to make an 8-inch charge, they get an 8-inch because they have an instrument and a banner, which gives them +1 and +1 on their leadership. This will allow them to still do things. This doesn't exclude those models from your army. It just benefits Slaanesh units. So you can still have them in and still deal some good damage with them if you really want. But let's get to this army list. So for characters, you have a billion. Your opponent is going to take Assassination and probably bring it down against you. Just guaranteed. So we have the Infernal Enrapturess. She is going to be leading a unit of 10 Daemonettes. This unit of Daemonettes is going to have all of its fixings. Okay? As we talked about, this unit of Daemonettes is going to try to fully heal every turn like a Necron player. This is going to be ridiculous because you're going to be, within your army Shadow of Chaos, you're going to line one Daemonette close enough to take some wounds off of your Chariot, put it on them so that they get Battle Shock, so that they have to take a Battle Shock test in the beginning of the turn. You pass the Battle Shock test, you bring back D3 models. Then you use the Infernal Enrapturess's ability to bring back D3 models. Then you Battle Shock everything within your Shadow of Chaos, and you bring back D3 models. So there is a world where you can take 9 wounds off of your Chariot, go down to 2 Daemonettes, which is the Infernal Enrapturess and Daemonette, and then resurrect the whole squad. And your opponent will just be like, what? No. And they will have to actually go to the back and deal with these Daemonettes. And the Daemonettes are actually kind of crazy in combat. Now, you do not want to push with these Daemonettes. You do not want to advance these Daemonettes. You do not want to move them too far from their original objective. Keep in mind, you do not have sticky objectives in this detachment. So if you don't want the Daemonettes, you can actually bring Plague Bearers, Poxwalkers, Plague Bearers, and they can sticky your home field objective for you, or you could bring something else. It really depends. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put one Daemonette on the point in the back and just do a Congo line and try to zone out as best I can 6 inches away so that I can't be deep striked on and just wiped out. Next up, we have 2 Keepers of Secrets. The first Keeper of Secrets is going to have the Avatar of Perfection. This one is going to go hunting around. Okay, this one's mission, while everyone else is going this way, this one is going to go boom, bam. Okay, that's its whole goal, and it's going to re-roll that charge roll against scouting units. And if there are no scouting units, it's still going to start far enough away that it can get that re-rolled advance move and still grab an objective and do something. It can't do an action if it advanced, but potentially it can move up and do an action on an objective. Keep in mind, you can still advance and do terraforming, which is weird. Because terraforming is not an action, I found out. But weird. Anyway, that one is going to hunt and go around the entire army. And it is going to surprise your opponent turn 2, turn 3. They're not going to prioritize it as much. And if they do, oh no, they're not hitting your demons in the front. Next up, we have Shalaxi Helbane. She is a huge amount of points. She is 425. I really wish she was 420 because it would be hilarious. But I honestly think at 410 points, she would actually be pretty balanced. But in this list, you can actually give your opponent -1 to hit, or just flat out, no, you're not shooting my Shalaxi. That's my baby. I love her. And then you could put Nurglings next to her and give your opponent -1 to hit as well, because she doesn't have that. So she needs the protection. Then we have the Masque. The Masque can give -1 to wound. Just really good. Lone op. Just jump up, be an action monkey, and then select a unit and just be like, no. Nope. That's all she's doing. Then the Tormentbringer. The other Keeper of Secrets is going to have Soul Gluttony. The Tormentbringer is going to have the Dreaming Crown. It's just really good for her. She gets all of those sustained hits, and then on top of that, she gets well, she gives out all of those sustained hits, even to herself. And then on top of that, she gives +1 to wound to everything around her and herself, excluding monsters. So just insanely good, and a good centerpiece that is going to be taking the middle field objective and then slamming into things, because it's actually surprisingly strong in combat. And then if it doesn't like being in that combat particularly, and there's a weaker unit, it just simply falls back, goes toodles, and then goes after something weaker. Because we're Slaanesh and we like to pick on the weak. And it's fun, you know? Sometimes you just want to torment something. You know, nothing wrong with me. I don't need therapy. Shut up. Anyway, your 10 Daemonettes, obviously. 3 Nurglings. Just 1 unit of 3 Nurglings. I think it's fine. It's perfect. They do their Nurgling thing, and they're great. 1 unit of 6 Fiends. This should actually be 2 units of 6 Fiends. I just happen to only have 9 Fiends, so I can't really feasibly bring all of them. Again, I think this is just really, really good. The Fiends can move through walls because they're beasts and not cavalry for some reason. So running through walls and then charging into something. Not advancing, just moving and then charging. They're good little action monkeys. They give -1 to hit, and they battle shock things that try to retreat, or they make them take desperate escapes. Yes. Yeah, each time they take a desperate escape test, they get -1. So they're just pretty good. They're going to be just running in and just smacking the shit out of things, keeping them pretty close to your Tormentbringer to give them those sustained hits. Then I have 3 units of Seekers. These units are going to be your thing that runs around the battlefield just grabbing objectives or stopping an opponent's army that's going to try to charge you turn 1. So you pick where your opponent goes, because they can move 9. They have Scout 9, and they have oval bases. So you just keep them sideways and just move them up into your opponent's face. Go, no, 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 no. You don't get to move yet. I get to move. And I want you to move here. You're going to kill my Seekers. Oh no, my poor Seekers. Oh well. And then I'm going to come rocketing in and kill you. Okay? Okay, that sounds good. Now, I am going to be testing out this list probably tomorrow. This is the list that I think is pretty decent. Overall, it is, I think it's exactly 2,000 points. I lied. I am a horrible liar. It's not. Wait, what? Oh, right. I took something out of the list. What did I take out? Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. This is only 1935. We still have 60 some odd points to use. Wow, I am bad at this. Hold on a second. Yeah. Wait, I didn't pause it. Okay, I knew I did something wrong. My apologies. Okay, it's actually 2 units of Nurglings, 2 units of Fiends, 1 at 6, 1 at 3, because I have 9. And then it's 2 units of Seekers. Okay? So going over the list again, it's an Infernal Enrapturess, 2 Keepers of Secrets, 1 Shalaxi Helbane, 1 Masque, 1 Tormentbringer on Exalted Seeker Chariot, 1 unit of Daemonettes, 2 units of Nurglings, 2 units of Fiends, 1 at 6, 1 at 3, 2 units of Seekers at 5 each. This list is going to be heavily dependent on your opponent moving. You actually want your opponent to go first, because the second that they move out, just even a little bit, just a little tiny bit, just that itty bitty bit, you punish them. You absolutely rock them. You go in and get them. And you just have all the fun in the world, especially if they bring a Kulgur's unit with a bunch of aggressors and try to deep strike it in. And you're just like, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you have health insurance. Oh, you don't. Oh, this is going to be fun. And you run in there and you just tear them apart. Oh, it's going to be great. And I'm going to test this out tomorrow, and I'm super excited. So wish me luck. And I hope all of you who play Slaanesh Demons are looking at this and having as much fun as I am, because while I think that this may not be as good as the regular Demon Detachment, there is a lot of fun in this list. And I honestly think that this might be better than people initially think. I think that this is going to be sleeper, and it's going to do well at tournaments. It is going to be very, very good in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing. And by the gods, I hope that that's me. We'll see. I'll give you a heads up. As always, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I love you guys. Bye.